Another beautiful day in the market, all red, stocks were down. I love these days. Guys, Amazon just reported minutes ago, they crushed it, 93 cents EPS versus 60 cents expected, 143 billion in revenue versus 141.6. They absolutely crushed it. They're up 5.5%, 5% after hours. We'll get into that a little bit later in this video. Mo, big report this morning about GDP.
Yeah.
Big
GDP number, too.
Big GDP. They were expecting 4.7%. They got 4.9%. I thought that was going to be bad for markets. And at first, the markets were up, and I was like, okay, I guess not, because I thought people would say this is good news for the economy, but that's not good for the Fed, because the Fed wants to keep things tame. They want to raise rates again. And then as the day went on, things started to plummet.
Yeah, and I do think it's probably people are thinking they're going to raise interest rates, or they're going to keep rates where they are, at least.
Correct.
And when you think about it, I mean, what's the mortgage rate right now? 8.1% on average or something?
Depends who you look at,
so
but yeah, it's high.
It's high.
Yeah. You know, and the other thing is, you saw Facebook yesterday. Facebook reported they crushed. They were up a ton, and then they finished today. How did they finish today, Mo?
Let's check right now.
Meta finished the day down $11 to 288. It got as low as 279.50, I believe, during the day. But to finish down 3.7%, who knows what happens to Amazon in the morning? But Amazon right now is up 4.5%, so good for them. They crushed it. They're actually starting to make money, which is wonderful for every single Amazon bull out there who says, Paul, you don't get it. They're just compounding on themselves. And I'm like, they have $500 billion in revenue. How are they not generating big cash flow? Right. There'll be a lot of guidance on AWS, because if you saw yesterday, Google declined because they were a little shy on cloud computing revenue. Mm-hmm. So the question is, the leader in cloud computing is whom? Amazon with AWS. Yeah. So I think there's going to be a lot of focus on where is Amazon reporting their AWS revenue. Yeah. That'll be a big thing. But the initial reaction is very positive for Amazon. Mo, could you go ahead, say that?
Google finished down almost 3% today.
Yeah.
2.65%. That's on top of their almost 10% day yesterday.
Yeah, 9.5% yesterday. You're right. Do you mind pulling up Amazon? Let's see how it does after hours on the after hours ticker. Okay, so we're going to keep Amazon up. Let's talk overall about the market. Guys, another big red day. Very popular video we did yesterday, because I think that people are starting to realize that when days are red, it's an opportunity for you. I'm not saying you go buy everything. There's still valuations you have to consider, but on this channel, we revere red days. If I showed you our community right up here, the comments in this community today, it was actually funny for everybody to talk about how, not going to say aroused they were, but everybody was very excited about seeing red.
You just said it.
In our community, people love cheaper stocks. If you want to have that kind of emotion where you're actually cheering on the market's going down, which everybody who has more than a 5-year outlook on their investing should cheer markets going down. Mm-hmm. If you have that outlook, guess what? This is the channel for you. Subscribe to the channel, because you're gonna enjoy this for a while. Now, GDP came out, and everybody knows I report the stock market to GDP ratio every day. It dropped a lot because GDP jumped up.
Right, it was higher.
And stocks came lower yesterday. Right. So it went from 70% overvalued yesterday to 65% today.
Nice.
Yeah, but the 10-year cyclically adjusted PE stayed the same because it hasn't updated. Didn't have as big of an update as the GDP of the United States. Right. GDP is up a lot, guys. 4.9% is real GDP after inflation. High. That's really high.
I mean, somebody actually in the community, I didn't see it until the person in the community showed it to me, and I was like, before I responded to them, I went and double checked because I thought they made a typo. It was like nearly 5%. Damn.
Yeah. And guys, red numbers though. S&P down 1.2%, Dow down 0.76, NASDAQ tech heavy, Magnificent 7 down 1.76.
And you want to talk about these Magnificent 7? You go and look at Apple today. Let's see what Apple was. Down 2.5%.
Wow.
You look at Nvidia today. Down 3.5%. So these Magnificent 7 are starting to be not so magnificent.
And Mo, you talked about 406 being a magic number for Nvidia to close under based on technical analysis, not based on our fundamentals.
Whole day, all I wanted was just close under 406, and we closed under 406.
That's a down
26.
All right, now guys, anything can happen.
Anything can happen, of course, but it's just another piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. So we're sitting here and we're like, okay, This is the market. We want you to be able to learn that all this noise out there, all this reporting means nothing. What matters is the fundamentals of the business. That's what really matters to us. And you look at Amazon, they reported great numbers, but a company can be great, but you pay too much for it. If that makes sense to you, then this is the channel for you. Subscribe, because we're trying to teach you that every investment is the present value of all future cash flow. And all these numbers out there, there's tens of thousands of economic data points that you can look at and blame and get excited, but news follows stock prices. When stocks are down, they're going to pick whatever in the news justifies that. When stocks are up, they're going to pick whatever in the news to justify that. Look at Meta. Meta was at $88 a share less than 1 year ago. It is now at $288 per share after falling from $330 in the last year. Guys, that's crazy. To be up almost 4 times, 3.5 times, that's not rational. I don't want to hear anybody tell me that markets are rational. I don't. Guess what? Even if you don't want to pick individual stocks, this is also the channel, because it's all about being in the right mindset that when the world feels like it's falling apart, we will be the ones there for you to help you realize that the world has looked like it's going to fall apart before, and it never, ever does. Never, ever does. We've been through assassinations, terrorist attacks, wars, so all these things you can imagine. Oil embargoes, everything you can imagine, and the stocks still end up going up in the long run.
And look to get things on sale. Be happy about that.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. I have a Black Friday list in my phone. It's things that I want to buy that I don't need, but if they're on sale, I'm going to buy them. And I start this thing
I want to hear
probably
them.
January. Oh, I mean, it's like, let's see.
Is it that caddy thing that I got Mikey?
That's one.
Because you're waiting for so long for a $250 sale on a $3,000 item.
Well, that one's going to be, I'm hoping it's like an $800 sale.
You think it will be?
But I don't need it, so I'm like, I might as well save $800. Like a Vessel golf bag. If I could save
What's a Vessel golf bag?
It's just a nice leather golf bag.
Is it?
Some aloe clothing, like a backbone. Maybe it'll be $50 off. But these are things that I don't need. But it's like I want them on sale. It's like stocks. I'm being patient.
You might sit there and say, well, Paul, we need stocks. Well, guys, look at my watch list. My watch list is made up of 91 companies that I would like to buy and the prices of which I want to buy them. All I do is just sit there and wait. Yeah. That's all I do. And then I get a notification, Paul, the stock hit your price. Great. I'll go buy it now. That's it. Or I'll go do more research to determine if it's really the right price. But I'm not going to waste my time if a company has to fall in half before I'm interested. I'm not going to spend any more time in the company. I'm just going to sit there, do my numbers, be conservative, be aggressive in our stock analyzer tool, and then put my watch price number, and that's that. So guys, whatever happens in the future, we will be here. We own stocks now, even though stocks are falling. I buy stocks pretty much every single week. I own 13 stocks. If you want to learn more about them, subscribe to our channel and watch for tomorrow. We will go over Amazon in more detail if it falls further. Thank you very much.